Hey there, so Dakota, and we're with Coffee with Dakota, except today we're not with coffee. So this question comes from Corey from Australia. And Corey says, hey Dakota, I would love to know more about how to move into empowerment and self-confidence to take the next step in life. My heart and soul cry, do it! Yet something holds me back each time. I am exploring what it might be like to nurture personal skills, the creative side, and things of passion. There is associated fear around letting go of a salary job and career path I have worked hard for, and to trust in my talents. I work in a government healthcare job, but would love to embrace my passion for writing and cooking, particularly exploring migrant culinary traditions, which in Australia are many, not just as hobbies, but as my life purpose. I look forward to your coffee sessions and the associated guided meditations every week. They have become part of my soul growth time. Thank you. Well, first of all, Corey, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that I am able to provide you with something that is meaningful in your weekly soul growth. Let me fix my camera here. So I hear you with the the passion and the it's so hard for people to give up that security of a well-paying job. You got the insurance, the pension, the retirement, the weekly guarantee of salary, and all these things that we surround ourselves with, thinking that this is security. You know, this little bubble of this secure government job, etc. And the truth is that it's a false sense of security, because somebody else has control over whether you have a job or not, you know? Now, having said that, it's not always feasible for every single person to work for themselves. And if every single person did work for themselves, we wouldn't have people doing the jobs like that need to be done. So it's a catch-22. But I think that, if you have that feeling that you feel like you just need to do it, Corey, you need to just do it. Okay, let's backtrack for 1 second here. Do it smartly. And so here's one thing that I did when I was in my early 20s, and I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, basically. I was 22 years old. And for me, it wasn't about what do I want to do for a job. It was the quality of life that I want to live, and how can I make that happen? And then I backtracked it to, this is what I want to be able to bring into my life. This is the life that I want to live. And then I fit a job into that. So it was still something that I loved to do, and I was I was very passionate about it. But I had to decipher, if I want this lifestyle, then I need to have X, Y, and Z. And the only way to get X, Y, and Z is if I do A, B, and C. And so I kind of, it's like being an architect. You've got to figure out what components you need to employ to make this work for you. So sometimes it's a timing thing. Like maybe, you don't want to do those as hobbies, but maybe it's dovetailing them until you can get to a place where you can break off the job that is not serving you and then step fully into what you're passionate about. This is really great lighting. I love photography. So here's an idea. Okay, so a hobby of mine has always been photography, and I love to do it, but I would never do it as a profession. But this, look at that lighting, that's awesome. And it's only if I put my hands like this. See? So I'm going to sit here like this. Sorry, I am totally getting sidetracked, because passion is so contagious, and I can read it in your thing here that you have got to do something where you are, I gotta get my hands like this, you have to figure out how to maneuver your way through this where you start bringing in those passions, you start doing them more and more, and make your mark in the world, make your job. If there's not a job that exists, then make one that exists for you, and then start working it until you can get away and break away from this job that you don't love, and start putting all of your energy into this. But for a while there may be this marriage that has to happen to get you from point A to point B. And I call those jockey steps. You know, sometimes we have to jockey here in order to get to this place over here. And that's okay. You know, that's how we get to this place. I think when somebody has the idea that they are going to quit their job and become a singer, you know, and then they quit their job and then, oh my gosh, I'm not a singer, I'm not famous, but there's a lot of steps that have to go into producing that kind of a lifestyle for yourself. You've got to, you've got to practice, you've got to get a band, you've got to get a recording manager, you've got to do all these steps to get to that place before you can, really feel comfortable of being that. So I say all of this because some of these mundane steps, people with a lot of passion don't want to take those mundane steps, but those are absolutely necessary to take, and they're strategic, and they will serve you in the long run so that you can really do what it is that you love to do. And I have long been an advocate of creating for yourself what it is that you want or need. And part of that was my independent personality. Just as an example, when I lived in Phoenix, I had gone through this breakup, and at the end of it, I didn't really, our common friends, it was just really uncomfortable, so I needed a new set of friends, basically. And I wasn't happy going to someone else's group event or whatever, so I created my own. Said, okay, well, I'm going to organize a coffee, and I'm going to just put flyers all over town and then just see who shows up. And that was the start. That was the very first time that I did that. And I ended up, over a course of 5 years, with close to 500-600 people on the mailing list, and we would have these groups. It ended up being this huge business for me. And that all started from me not wanting to go to somebody else's coffee. So when you go to think about, the job that you want to create for yourself, you don't think that you have to go work for somebody else. You create your own job, and you just make it happen. I have full faith in you, Corey. Absolutely full faith that you can do this, because with that amount of passion, you can do anything, okay? You can even, make a light board with your hands for your face. How cool is that? Bye.